Britain is a country like no other. Britain is a country like no other. Britain is a country like no other. If we keep saying it, it must be true. We're the country of Nelson, Newton and Churchill. Britons invented the television, the steam engine and the World Wide Web. Remember when we ruled over a quarter of the world? That was us. We did that. We fucking kick ass. And because of all that, we'd like to say one thing. Fuck the rest of the world. We know what we're doing. Just don't look at our coronavirus deaths. This is British exceptionalism. A belief held deep in our nation's psyche that we are different to every other country in the world, and that somehow that justifies the decisions we make. Decisions like spending almost £1 million on painting a Union Jack on a plane because it will better represent the UK around the world. During a pandemic! There was a time when Britain was different to every other country. It was back when we were stomping around the globe, killing indigenous people and robbing their land. But the idea of Britain being a special place goes back further than that. Listen to how Shakespeare describes it in Richard II.
This other Eden, demi-paradise. This fortress built by nature for herself against infection on the hand of war. This happy breed of men. This little world. This precious stone set in the silver sea.
Alright mate, chill out. Britain's not going to shag you. British exceptionalism is what fueled the Brexit debate. We decided that we'd had enough of experts.
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts.
That Europe needed Britain more than Britain needed Europe. We had an opportunity before us. And we weren't going to let the bureaucrats in Brussels hold us back anymore. It was a load of old shite. But it tapped into our national myth that we're special. That's why it was so easy for Brexiteers to dismiss well-founded concerns about us leaving the EU as Project Fear.
I think it's all baloney, it's all Project Fear.
It's no wonder then that we ended up with Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, a man that so fully embodies British exceptionalism. You'd think that having a history of racist remarks and being fired for lying would hold a man back from high office.
When will the Prime Minister finally apologise for his derogatory and racist remarks?
A man who has made a career out of lying.
But not Boris, he's different. How unfortunate then to have a British exceptionalist at the helm during a global pandemic. Britain has acted out of step on the international stage, bringing in lockdown later and lifting it earlier than we should have. Our world-beating contact tracing app turned out to be absolute crap. And what's with that phrase, world-beating, anyway?
World-beating?
We don't have to beat the world at everything. Why don't we start by just catching up with the world? But instead of that, we have 286,000 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 44,000 deaths, the highest death toll in Europe. Finally, Britain is back on top. This belief that we're different from other nations is tantamount to recklessness. Everything about our decision making during this pandemic has had an air of, it'll be fine, we're British, about it. Exceptionalism is toxic. You have to back yourself, but you can't go around thinking you're infallible. Look at America, the prime example of exceptionalism. From the White House, where Trump is ripping up the rule book, to the people refusing to wear masks because they think they shouldn't have to. It's fucked up. We have a dangerous mindset. We glance at our past and are certain of our future. To get through hard times, all we need to do is keep calm and carry on. At some point, we're going to have a reckoning with ourselves. Coronavirus should be that reckoning. But why would we reckon with ourselves? That's what other countries do.